No surviving, guys. No fucking surviving equals blowout wins. I did it. I did it. I broke the curse for the Broncos with plaid on plaid in my pregame. I said I've tried everything, and now if I do plaid on plaid, the number one fashion taboo, that maybe, just maybe, the Broncos will get a fucking win. And they did. Not only did they get a win, not only did my curse-breaking plaid on plaid resurrect the Denver Broncos, it led them to a shutout victory over the Jets 23-0. So the plaid on plaid stays until they lose again, which honestly I hope isn't very long. Welcome to That's Good Broncos. I'm Brandon Perna. We're going to recap the Broncos-Jets game, the shutout, the goose egg, and we're going to do it right now. Another reason the Broncos won today is because they never lose a game when the opposing quarterback gets a long, tender butt massage on the sideline. Ooh, yeah, that does look relaxing. That butt massage sent Josh McCown into a trance and made him just not even functionable as a QB for the rest of the game. So that's good, Broncos. This episode is sponsored by BetDSI. There's a link in the description to betdsi.com, and if you use my promo code, they're going to give you $25 free. $25 free to wager however you want. Any game, any sport, BetDSI is one of the best sports books out there, and if you bet on the Broncos to lose this week, you fucking lost too. So sorry. Broncos, Jets, what the hell happened today? What the hell happened, and was it a good thing for the Broncos that they got a win? Well, that depends on what you believe about this draft and free agency. If you don't believe a very high draft pick is a better thing for the Broncos, then you have to think that Denver will land a great free agent quarterback, Kirk Cousins, whoever they go after this offseason, or you believe they will fuck up their pick, no matter who it is, early in the draft. Personally, I'm just going to say I don't know. I don't know whether it was good or bad that they lost, big picture, draft, free agency, all that bullshit. I don't know, okay? But it feels good to get a win. It feels really good to get a win again, and it's been a while since we tasted victory. That's what I do know. Personally, probably higher the draft pick, the better, but I think the Broncos might be looking to upgrade that offensive line early in the draft. But that's just conjecture at this point, so we'll really address that shit once the season's over. So, here's some things about today. The Broncos took an early lead in this game, and after I think holding the lead for over like 11 or 12 minutes, that was the longest lead the Broncos had had. Actually, that was the longest lead combined for the Broncos over the last 8 weeks. Prior to this game, they had only led for like 11 minutes in games. They led this entire game, so that record got shattered today. My question was there ever a team in the NFL that both pitched a shutout and got shut out in the same season? I thought that was like a crazy thing that probably rarely ever happened, but somebody on Twitter pointed out that it happened to the Patriots last year. They got shut out at home, and then the next week they shut out the Texans. So I guess that's not that special of a thing to do in the same year. But the Patriots won the Super Bowl last year. So I guess by that comparison, the Broncos could win the Super Bowl this year, except that they were officially eliminated from the playoffs today. So that won't happen either. The thing I was most impressed with today for the Broncos was their defense. I was a little concerned that the Jets were going to be able to run the football because Domata Peko was out. We lost Derek Wolfe to IR. So, we had... and Adam Gotsis was questionable coming into this game. He played. We have seen that there is good depth on that defensive line. They held the Jets... This is crazy. The Broncos defense held the Jets to under 100 total offensive yards. The Jets went over 100, just barely, but on the final play, Brandon Marshall stopped the Jets for a 3 or 4 yard loss, putting them back down to 98 total yards on the day. That is crazy. That is a crazy good performance by the defense, and I know it was just against the Jets. I know it was the Jets, but I don't give a shit. That was a dominant defensive performance. If people have been critical of the defense. It's been at the linebacker position, and I thought maybe the best player on defense today was Brandon Marshall. He led the team in tackles. A few of those were for losses. He had a sack. He seemed to be all over the field, so that was a good sign. I hope Todd Davis is okay. It looked like he was struggling with that ankle injury, and then he hurt his head later in the game. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but fuck. Shelby Harris, defensive line, dominant. Zach Kerr looked really good. Harris had that, he had a sack, he batted down a pass. Brandon Marshall also, I believe, had the strip sack that Adam Gotsis recovered early in the game. So all around, gotta be excited what you saw from the defense, okay? Because heading into next season, keeping that defense, intact, adding a couple pieces here and there, Broncos are right back in this thing with a good quarterback. Simeon played pretty damn good football today. Was he perfect? No. We know Simeon's not going to play perfect football, but he didn't put the team in a bad position, and he threw 0 interceptions. So give Trevor Simeon a little bit of credit for not throwing any picks. Demaryius Thomas making a case for a BDP award tomorrow, and that's maybe the best news. I get to do a real review tomorrow, and I get to do a Big Dick Player episode. We haven't seen that for a long time. So DT played really well. He did have one drop. Jeff Hireman had another drop. Those are little things, still need to get better. The running game, that was the one thing Jets did well, was the Broncos did not have success running the football today. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't stop attempting to run the football. And I think that's like the first time this season they've fucking done that. And it's important because even when you're not having success running the football, the fact that you keep doing forces the defense to at least play the run. And I think it helped out in the passing game for the Broncos a little bit. I did accurately predict that they would give the ball to Andy Manovich, on his 1-yard touchdown run prior to it happening. So Tony Romo, I called it live as well. I've been calling the games live on YouTube. So I out Tony Romo with that fucking prediction right before it happened. Nice to see Janovich back into the end zone. So the Broncos move on to 4-9. Okay, how many more games do we want them to win? I don't know, but I think it's hard on a team when you lose that many in a row, and for the players getting that win, putting some confidence back into their mental psyche, I think is a good thing. The guys deserve it. Broncos, players, hey, people on Twitter, please tweet the Broncos, ask where they're partying tonight because I would like to join them. If I could get invited to one Broncos post-game party, that would be pretty fucking sweet. The Broncos defense held Josh McCown to 46 yards passing, and Bryce Petty had like 14 or 16 yards passing. So they held two quarterbacks to under 50 yards passing. Another insane fucking stat. Also, who is Bryce Petty's favorite musician? Easy, Tom Petty. Boom. So that's it. I don't know what else to say. I'm glad the Broncos dominated this game. 23-0. That is it was fun to watch. The game was fucking fun except for the last, if I have one critique, it was the last 10 minutes of that game just dragged out. The Broncos couldn't sustain a drive to drain the clock. Luckily, the Jets couldn't do anything more than 3 and outs, which helped enable them stay under 100 yards. But I would like to have seen the Broncos, especially with the running game, be able to close out that game a little more quickly. But that's my only complaint. Thank you for all the support on Patreon. You can keep this channel alive and independent. God damn it, please help me out. Patreon.com/thatsgoodsports. I can't tell you how important your contributions are. And also my sponsors, SeatGeek, another sponsor of this channel, keeping my lights on. If you use the promo code ThatsGood the first time you use SeatGeek, you'll get $20 off your first ticket order. And yeah, you might wanna go to a Broncos game now because they've shown they can still be freaking competitive. The defense is still legit. They went through some road bumps. They're back. So if you're going to get tickets, do it on SeatGeek. Do you want to know what the best slogan in Broncos history is? No, it's not kicking and screaming. It's no surviving. No fucking surviving. Oh, everybody wanted to rip Vance Joseph to shreds for saying no surviving this week. Oh, he's a fucking idiot for practicing inside. Well, guess what? He's the only genius out there. They practice inside and they fucking won anyway. That whole argument all week was so stupid. Should Chuck Pagano have had his team practice in a foot of snow all week? Maybe. That might have helped them today. We have nothing good to talk about in Broncos country. And now we gotta win. So now maybe we can actually focus on talking about things that are important and not whether or not the team practiced inside or outside for a game that was 60 plus degrees outside. So ridiculous, the criticism. No surviving. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Subscribe here on YouTube, share these videos on Facebook. I'll be back tomorrow with a proper Broncos game review, Big Dick Player episode. And yeah, so don't forget to come back. Please, dear God, Plaid on Plaid, saved us all. Tweet me your Plaid on Plaid pictures. I'll retweet them.